Oh, g'day there, Rugby League fans, and welcome back into the Mad Monday podcast, brought to you as always by 4 and 20 Pies, the perfect at-home snack for watching Rugby League until midnight on a Wednesday. My name is Tino Fa'asua Manaia. I'm joined by Adam Whenua Keezy this morning. Keezy, how did you pull up this morning after a Wednesday Origin?
Yeah, I was all good. I actually, on the way home, stopped at Wendy's.
Oh.
And got some nuggies and a little chicken burger there.
Even after all of those mad traveller pies that we had?
Yeah, absolutely. I was still hungry.
Yeah.
And so I ate that, watched something, went to sleep at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And then, because I do afternoon radio, I just set my alarm for 8:30.
Oh.
Good as gold.
Luxurious.
Yeah.
For sleeping.
How did you pull up?
No, I did the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, no, it was it was a hell of a game last night. Origin 3, the decider. When I was saying this morning on the Agenda podcast, we were watching it last night around at my place, and in the bottom right-hand corner, because it was 9, not Fox.
Channel 9, yeah.
And they had the clock, but it just said 1H for the start of the game. And
that was funny.
Ages, we were like, what the hell is the score? Then eventually it flicked over and it was counting down. Then they switched it and it was counting back up. Anyway, long and short of that was, when I finally found out how long the game had been going for, it only said 8 minutes. And I was like,
yeah.
I've been watching this since I was about 10 years old. This game has gone on forever, like in a good way. It wasn't dragging.
No, it was just frantic.
There was so much action, man. It was hectic from the get-go.
And it was obviously that Origin intensity that everyone talks about. And then the dudes that were leading the charge, like Pat Carrigan, I've never seen him that revved up before.
Yeah.
And I reckon there were about 6 high shots in the first sort of 10 minutes that the ref did not give a shit about. Whereas when you're regular season NRL, a slight slap to the face these days, they're sending you off for an HIA, and it's just because that's the rules.
HIA, speaking of HIAs, Angus Crichton passed an HIA. It wasn't his head that got knocked. He had a horizontal scorpion where he bent his head backwards. It was a neck issue. I don't think it was that it was a head knock.
Well, I mean, I saw that. It was with Reece Walsh's hip, I believe it was.
It was a spinal injury.
But they showed it, and let's get one thing straight. Yes, that was terrible for his spine and his neck.
Yeah.
And he will be in a wheelchair at some stage.
That's right.
But also, watching that in slow motion, his eyes rolled back into his head. He was concussed, but because it's Origin, there was an Origin-style HIA, and they just let him come back.
I don't know if have you ever seen the picture of the human nervous system when it's been pulled out of the body and you can see where all the nerves go?
No.
The eyes are connected to the brain.
Why are you looking at that shit? That sounds real messed up.
Because I'm a rugby league fan and I need to understand the machinations of the human body, Chris.
Right, so the eyes.
Yes, are connected to the brain, connected to the stem of the spinal cord, which is what he hit. And it's basically like, you remember those toys where you pull a little string and the arms come up and the legs come out?
Yeah.
Basically, he did that with his spinal cord. I reckon his spinal cord got pulled so hard that it rolled his eyes into the back of his head.
Right.
Making it look like he was concussed, but actually it was just that his spinal cord had been ripped out.
Which is fine.
Yeah, and it came right. And
which is play on, yeah.
Which is play on. There's no rules against
Not
that.
only play on, but then get the man of the series.
Oh, he was excellent.
He was excellent, and I can't believe at the start of the season there were all these like whispers around the Roosters, wanting to sign David Fifita to replace him and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, towards the end of the season, David Fifita's not even in the Queensland side, and Angus Crichton is man of the series.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't say I can't believe it, because at the time, he wasn't playing that well.
Oh, he was playing terrible, and all those rumours going around about him in Amsterdam taking mushies.
Yeah.
And
I saw a good interview with him, actually. It's worth going to listen to.
I haven't seen that one yet. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, because I thought when I tuned into it, I was like, oh, here we go. This is going to be the straight bat. He's going to bullshit his way through all this stuff. He didn't.
Hasn't he got bipolar or something?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I don't think that means he didn't go off the rails in Amsterdam.
Right, so okay,
you know
cool.
what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think that one excludes the other.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all slander, Your Honour. He had an absolutely outstanding season, season.
Yeah.
But a biff, I was saying before the game we were placing our bets, and I was like, if there was a way that I could get on a sin bidding, I would. I couldn't find the market for it. Sure enough, it happened. Both teams, a bit of a brouhaha between Daly Cherry Evans and Jerome Luai.
AKA both teams' most annoying players.
Yeah. Wow. Daly Cherry Evans was into everything last night.
He's like, I have so much respect and rightly so, for Daly Cherry Evans. He's a phenomenal player. His career is insane.
And to still be playing Origin at 43 years old is tremendous.
Exactly. He's actually 44. And
happy birthday.
He's such a shit stirrer, though. But not to the extent that Jerome Luai is.
No.
He's smart about it, whereas Jerome Luai, and by the way, I'm a New South Wales fan, he's just a cock. Like he is. Like, I love New South Wales. I like if Jerome Luai as a player, he's such a good player. He literally set up that try for Bradman Best.
Yeah. Which blew the game wide open.
Blew it wide open. He's the main reason that New South Wales won that game, you know. I would argue that he was almost man of the match. By the way, Dylan Edwards got that. I got paid out. Sweet.
Oh, yes.
But I just don't like him.
No, he is intensely unlikable.
I know. And you don't have to be loved, but he almost goes out of his way to make people hate his guts.
Some people need it, I think. He could be one of those people who needs to be rocked up.
That's just, that's just his whole vibe. Yeah,
okay. And he's like, look, maybe if I grow my hair out real long, it'll make people hate me, and I need that fuel.
Yeah, right, okay.
To carry on. So, yeah, that sparked a bit of an all-in brouhaha. No punches thrown, but it was a real chippy game. And I've just seen this afternoon that there's been 2 suspensions handed out for that. One was for Cam Murray because he comes streaking down the sideline to get involved. And the other one was for Haumole Olakuatu, who was in a suit on the weekend on the bench.
By the way, Olakuatu, great game from him. We were cracking up twice because, first of all, they were in the huddle, New South Wales in the huddle, like G'ing themselves up. He's just in the background eating a Brayburn in a suit.
Yeah.
With a big grin on his face.
I was like, if you're not playing, I'd probably cut the snacks out. You know, someone else might need that.
Just hands in his pockets eating an apple.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
And Mitch Barnett, a tremendous game. We'll get into his stats and that later on. In fact, we won't. I haven't pulled any stats, but he played really well.
I was going to say, shit, was I supposed to bring those?
No. Oh, you didn't? No, but he was, and we've been saying this for the longest time, he's a State of Origin player.
Oh.
He was going around the locker room G'ing everyone up.
Yeah.
He made a point of going over to Haumole Olakuatu and G'ing him up while he was standing in a suit with one hand in his pocket and the other one eating a Brayburn. Shout out to Alanis Morissette. And I think that that just showed the mana of Mitch.
Well, the Mitch Mana, and this is, remember when he was away and we got, do you remember this? An historic L chucked on us by the Titans.
Yes.
66-6. He wasn't there.
Yeah, we were saying that too.
He is the G-man. Yeah. He is so the guy that fires us all up.
Yes.
So he is crucial, and will he turn it around tomorrow night against the Raiders? That's the big question.
Well,
he's named.
We were just saying this before the podcast. I said, well, neither him nor Capel have been named, despite the fact that I copied and pasted the team list into our rundown, and they're both on there.
They're both on there.
They've both been named. But I mean, do you think that they'll start? They've both been named to start, but they both played massive minutes. And I don't know if you saw Mitch Barnett out there; he wasn't holding back.
No, he was being a psycho, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
Like, my theory, and we'll get into the Warriors shortly, is that this is do or die for the Warriors. We have to win this game. It's the Raiders. Like, if he doesn't play this game, I think he'll just play. He'll play 50 minutes in the front row. He's named it prop, but usually he goes from prop to back row and then forward. Like, they do some weird stuff there. I think he'll just play the prop rotation minutes, hopefully.
And hopefully a bit of a lighter load. Yeah, you're right. We'll get to it.
He's not a guy, though, that can do a lighter load. He'll say, yeah, I'll do a lighter load, and then he won't.
Yeah, he'll go hell for leather. Ridiculous pace, we mentioned. The final scoreline was actually 14-4, and at halftime it was 2-2, which I don't think anyone had in their multis.
You tell me that it's going to be 2-2 at halftime, then I'll say, oh, that sounds boring. It wasn't boring.
Not at all.
It was so great. It was just high intensity. The scuffles that were breaking out were ridiculous. It was like 8 in the first half. The ref was in the middle of one. As we said, one was on the sideline. By the way, just on that sideline one, both Cam Murray and Olakuatu are facing 2 games on the sideline, but they can challenge it.
And then get 3.
And then it probably will end up being 3. So, I'd reckon it will be 2 games. But
anytime you're facing a charge and you weren't playing, just cop it.
Yeah, exactly. Getting sent from the field with a suit on.
That you weren't on,
But to be honest, and Daly Cherry Evans was all fired up about some shit, towards the end there about how, he came off the field. That should have been a penalty. About Cam Murray, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't think that would have made much of a difference. I mean, shit, if Bradman Best's first 2 breaks even ended in 1 try, and if Stephen Crichton didn't drop the ball over the try line, it would have been an absolute hiding.
It could have been worse. In the end, 14 points to 4 to the Blues. And I think Basically, what happened was it was so hectic for an hour of that match that in the last 20 minutes it was going to blow open one way or the other.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for the Maroons, it was all one-way traffic for the Blues. It happened to coincide with Kalen Ponga coming onto the field.
Yeah,
Was it his fault?
I don't think it's Kalen Ponga's fault.
No.
I think if you're going to have him, the Hammer, and Reece Walsh out there, like those guys all are attacking phenomenons.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're okay. You know, like it's three small bodies that you're bringing on, and you're anticipating out offensing.
Yeah.
But to be honest, and the first half showed it, it was all about defense.
There was no offense in that game. Yeah, Reece Walsh just showed why he wasn't the fullback that we needed at the Warriors.
That's right.
It was because, he's mean. He's a flat track bully. When you're up by 40 points, he's carving dudes up. He's throwing Scucky Harbour Bridge passes. He's slicing dudes up out of nowhere.
That's right.
When you're down in the shit in Game 3, Origin, Suncorp, mate against mate, state against state, he's probably not what you needed back there because that last Mitch Moses try, he sort of jagged back on the inside and then it was just a little swerve past Reece Walsh who's just clutching at his shadow.
It was a shit try. It was cool because Mitch Moses' running game is awesome.
Oh,
but
it looked cool.
It wasn't a state of origin decider at Suncorp try.
The Bradman Best one was.
That was sick.
Yeah.
And watching him, and he's been playing excellent for the Knights, but watching him, I was like, this guy's going to be, I reckon next year he's going to be like one of those guys in SuperCoach you have to have. He is running so fast and he is so big and strong.
Yeah, massive meathead, tremendous
Oh my God,
leg tattoos.
his amazing cut on his lip.
That reminded me of, I don't know if you're familiar with Robbie Lawler from the UFC, but he had a similar thing where he won a fight but had a split in his lip. And when he celebrated and like let out a roar, it split almost all the way up to his nose. That's basically what was happening to Bradman Best last night. And I think he liked it.
Yeah.
I think he was like, these photos are going to live forever. I'll have these printed, they'll be on posters on my wall. And I think that he's bought himself another 3 years of Origin, but just by not only scoring that try, but even if he hadn't, just bullocking runs and a ripped lip for the state. I think that locks him in.
So I agree. Who's the other centre for? Oh, Crichton. Shit. Because I'm like, but you got to have Latrell in there.
I think you figure it out with Bradman Best. Maybe
he had and like you're right about that photo. Like his photo of him with the split lip is the same as Trump with the cut ear, with the shot ear.
Yeah.
That's going to be on his poster for years, and because he just looked insane.
Yeah, it was badass. It also is going to massively shift the power dynamics in the changing rooms at Newcastle because the two defenders that he beat were Kalen Ponga and also Origin Gags,
who
got skinned a couple of times,
and just let him just play for Newcastle. This, to be honest,
I reckon other way. Let him just play for, Queensland.
he's not Origin Gags anymore. He's getting older. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See this, and this is the thing. Looking back at the game now, I'm like, of course they lost. Harry Grant's got a sternum injury. There was no Munster. Even like Xavier Coates wasn't there.
Felice Kaufusi started. They had a platoon swap of their front row.
That was weird.
All of the bench players came on to start, and I read that at the time as I think this is Billy Slater trying to play mind games where he's named a different front row to try and fuck with New South Wales. I reckon that's what he was doing. And I think anytime you're resorting to that kind of stuff,
that's some New South Wales shit.
You're already on the back foot.
Queensland are just like usually like, oh, we don't care what you're doing. We're just going to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
And whereas Billy, it was so weird, by the way. And Kaufusi had a mean game, and he's definitely an Origin player.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, it was really random.
Are we watching the descent of a man into madness? Billy Slater.
Well, after one game.
After 3 games. The first game he came in and he was so calm, cocksure of himself. He's like, we're going to win.
Trust
we're going
in
to do
Billy.
this. Second game, he starts arguing with the media. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say this. This guy's that. This should have been a head eye. This shouldn't have been a send-off, blah, 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 blah. Game 3, he's fucking Mad Maxing it with all the different players and switching dudes around.
He's like that always sunny in Philadelphia meme?
Yeah.
Of Pepe Silva or whatever it's called.
with all the strings and things in the corkboard.
Well,
he's lost it.
What I think he has lost is, just
State of Origin
by a massive margin. And that's only the third ever decider in Suncorp that New South Wales has won. So that's bloody excellent. But I think that whole hoodoo, at least for a wee while, of winning a decider in Suncorp and going to Suncorp New South Wales with their team that they've put together and the way they've been playing and the points they left out there, I think I'm predicting, and I'm a New South Wales fan, that for the next few years it's New South Wales.
No shit.
Yeah, like the next 3 years.
3 years. Lock it in. Get on the futures markets on the TAB.
I'm going to.
But other than that, it was well worth staying up on a Wednesday night to watch that. That was a tremendous game of State of Origin football.
It was sick, yeah.
It was tight right up until about the last 10, 15 minutes. It was frantic, like you said, 2-2 at halftime, but an entertaining 2-2. Missed all of my bets, but it was well worth it.
Oh, yeah. I think I put $10 on New South Wales to win, which they did.
Yeah.
And then I put $3 or something on Dylan Edwards to get man of the match. And because it was a tight game, and this is a good thing to keep in mind going forward, whenever you can think there's going to be a tight game, whoever gets the most meters is just going to get man of the match.
Yeah.
And it was Dylan Edwards.
Yeah.
So I didn't even realize he got man of the match until this morning. I woke up and checked it. I was like, oh, shit, he got man of the match.
Yeah, 283 metres or something.
It would have been Bradman Best if he didn't drop those 2 balls because he was insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's if in doubt, just the guy with the most meters, man of the match.
That's a great betting strategy, actually.
Yeah.
I quite like that. All right, we talked about whether Capewell's going to play. We talked about whether Mitch Barnett's going to play. We are going to take a quick break and come back and digest an interesting Warriors team list. All right, we'll get to the Mitch Barnett and the Kurt Capewell of it all in just a sec, but I wanted to start with Tohu Harris. It came out earlier this week that he's out for the rest of the season after electing to take wrist surgery. He's got a bung wrist. I think it's been plaguing him for a while. He's been in, out, and now he's going to be out for the rest of the season. He is our captain. How big a blow is it losing Tohu Harris for the rest of the season?
Well, it's a huge blow, isn't it? I mean, Tohu's been that one constant throughout years of turmoil at the Warriors. You can always rely on him. I don't think it's as much of a loss as it was at the beginning. It would have been at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I almost feel like Mitch Barnett's the captain now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's
Whether they name him as the captain or not.
Yeah. He's like, look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. So I loved the way we had Mitch Barnett and Adam Fanua-Blake and then, or even Jackson Ford, and then Tohu would come on after 20 minutes and just play like a solid 45 in the middle there. I loved that because I think his sort of, his play at first receiver there and his distribution and stuff is brilliant. So that's going to be a huge loss. And to be honest, at this point in the season where it's must-win footy for us, it is a bit of a loss. But I'm not as depressed as I would have been if it happened at the start of the season.
If I'm thinking silver linings, I think we've all really enjoyed the impact that Dylan Walker's had around being much quicker off the line. Like, he's a very different player. He's high energy, he's into absolutely everything. So now all of a sudden you go from Sean Johnson to Marty Martin, Tohu Harris, to now you've got Chanel Harris-Tavita in there. Now you've got Dylan Walker in there. I think it could potentially speed our team up quite a bit. The other big change that we've made, obviously Chance is still out, so that means Tane Tuapiki comes in at fullback. And then also Marcelo Montoya has a groin complaint, so he's out. He's sort of week to week, which brings Ali Leatawa in to centre and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck onto the wing. We've been calling for him to be swapped out of centre for quite a while. We all wanted him to go back to fullback.
I love this.
He's now on the wing, yeah.
I love Leatawa. He's a beast.
Oh, you know what? Just on Leatawa quickly, they love him too because every piece of media that came out before the season, he was in it. So I think they thought he was going to be a bigger part of this season than he has been.
And then, yeah, and because he was injured, I think. But also, like, they need the goal kicking of Adam Pompey and stuff as well. So there's been these things like that has like forced their hand.
But I'm just saying, I think the club really like him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's the goods.
He's one of those dudes we don't want to let go because he'll go to the Cowboys or the Panthers or something and become great.
Yeah.
I love Rog on the left side and Tamati Martin at 7. Lock it in.
Yeah.
Rest of the season.
You don't think Sean will come back?
Nah, he will. And if we're going to do some real damage in the postseason, we need Sean Johnson. But I just love the way Tamati Martin's playing. And his whole storyline of having to retire because of a brain bleed, playing back home in Te Awamutu or wherever from the Waikato he's from.
Tokoroa, something like that.
Yeah, and then now he's back at the Warriors, replacing Sean Johnson and just having an absolute barnstorming season.
And the photo that he posted on his Instagram last week of him on the back of a horse that he's bringing a pig out of the bush. And I've been saying this all week. And I don't think I've ever believed in something as strongly as I believe in this. So Marty Martin is the man every Kiwi bloke thinks he is. He's who I think I am.
I don't even think I'm him. Hell no. I wish I thought I was him.
You know, when your confidence meter is full and you're like, you know what? I'll make sure you're all right. He is who you think you are when your confidence meter is full.
Because the annoying thing about that is like he can ride a horse, which is just taps into like rare something deep within every human.
Yes.
Like that freedom.
It's mastery of beast.
Yeah, mastery of a beast. You're dead right.
And he uses it to claim the lives of other beasts.
That's right. And
with his hands.
He killed the boar. He's now put that on the horse. His mastery over that beast. He's getting food for his family.
And on Saturday, he's going to go play halfback for the Warriors.
And Manaia, he's a fucking smoke show.
And he's a smoke show. It's bad writing. It's bad writing.
It's shit, yeah.
If there was a movie character and it lived the life that Tamati Martin lives, you'd be like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
No one has all of that.
It's like everyone looks normal and everyone's just like peasants, and then this one main character walks in who looks like Jason Momoa.
Yeah, they spent the casting budget on one dude. Everyone else is just from the town and they're getting paid in sandwiches or whatever. And they splashed out on Brad Pitt for the starring role in this movie.
That's why everyone else just looks like Wade Egan and Lussick.
Yeah. And then he comes through and you're like, oh, fuck off. You killed that massive ass boar and then rode it out on the back of your horse.
You're a huge omen bet guy.
Yeah.
That's a great omen. He went out over the weekend, over the bye, did that, took that photo.
Yeah.
Warriors 13 plus.
Okay, I don't mind it. Tamati Martin anytime. Is that what you?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Is that what you're reading
Martin.
into that? He's going to go in and get go and bring a pig back for the family. Anything else on the team list? Obviously, Capewar and Mitch Barnett named. I think you have to name them.
Yeah, I'm questionable about Capewar. I mean, he's been kind of not shit, but he's just been middle of the road all season. He was middle of the road for Queensland, and now 2 days later he has to come and start in the back row. I don't know. I feel like he might go to the bench or something. Like,
yeah, this is initially what I thought as well. It's such a short, and it's the worst time for a turnaround. I've talked to Wairangi Korpu about this, about backing up from Origin. He's like, you'd rather do it the day after.
Straight away.
Or like 5 days later.
Yeah, right.
But that second day is the toughest. Like getting out of bed. Like getting out of bed in the morning on tomorrow morning for these Warriors, for Capewar and Barnett, they're going to wake up and just be like, oh, fucking hell. What am I going to do now between now and the first whistle?
Crying while putting on his Warriors. Just like, oh, fuck. I mean, look.
They'll get up for it because this is what they do. This is who they are. They are state of origin players.
But
you'd still be like, shit.
It was hard getting up out of bed after game 3 for me. Yeah. Just purely based on how frantic it was to watch.
Yeah, but you backed up because you're a state of origin broadcaster.
That's right. And I'm here doing a pod for the backbones out there. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Use of the term backbone.
My wife.
Look, that's my only sort of issue with the team. It's great to see Marata starting as well. Also having Leka Halasima on the bench again. I just love this. And Tain Tuapiki starting at fullback. I just love these young fellas. When they're given opportunities, they shine. Yeah. So I want to see more of that.
Leka Halasima, dear friend of the podcast, he's been on the Mad Monday podcast before.
Oh, you interviewed him?
Yes, yeah, came down to Hallenstein's with us, him and Tanner Stowers-Smith and Chance Nickel-Klokstad. I've got a flaming hot take about our matchup this weekend. It is against the Raiders. Looking at the team list, Fogarty back, which is a huge
for them. That is huge.
Huge in for the Raiders. It's huge.
Huge.
Josh Papali, Starling.
He's huge.
It's the who's who. Danny Levi, he's huge.
Rapana.
Zach Hosking, huge. Ko Weeks, Jordan Rapana, Tim Walker. Anyway, my flaming hot take is last year, when the Warriors, the turning point in their season from when it was just like, oh shit, they've won a couple of games to, oh, hang on, the Warriors are legit here. I can pinpoint it.
I can as well. I know what you're going to say.
It is when Ricky Stewart rested Jared Croker ahead of his 300th game so that he could play him at home against the Warriors to win the 300th game. And we humped them into the core of the earth. We smashed the Raiders at home. Happy 300th game, Jared Croker.
On that.
They'd drawn the extra 0 on the 30-metre line. Fuck off. We wasted them. I think we then wasted the Sharks after that. Only a few weeks later, we wasted the Raiders again, and that was the start of our run home into the finals. It was when the turning point in our season when people were like, oh, shit, these Warriors are for real.
Yeah.
I think it happens again.
I think it'll be closer. I don't think it's going to be Jared Croker's 300th pumping.
No.
I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah.
But and historically watching Raiders v Warriors the last few years, they've always been such great matchups.
Yeah.
You know, like Sean Johnson drop goals to win, or like them with a forward pass try to win that shouldn't have been allowed.
Yep.
It's been great. And we beat, I think, in Christchurch earlier this year. I think the Wires are going to get it done. But I know that both teams are in a very similar situation where they've had kind of middle-of-the-road seasons.
Yeah.
And they're now fighting for that sort of number 8 spot on the ladder.
Yeah.
Whoever loses this game's done for the season.
Wow. I mean, that's actually not that big.
Like mathematically, I'm pretty sure that's the case.
I generally, like in the NBA, I always say bet on the team that's facing elimination if the other team isn't. I'm just going to try and bring up the NRL table right now to see how screwed they are, because I'm well aware of how screwed we are. Yeah, they're directly above us on 20 points. We're on 19.
Yeah, see?
They have a worse point differential, so whoever wins this, we can leapfrog them, but only into like 10th spot.
See, how annoying is it that draw against Manly that we're on 19? We should be on 20. That is so annoying.
Yeah, which would put us in 10th with a chance to crack the 8 with a win this weekend.
That's
which
right.
Is a little bit niggly. It has come back to bite us in the ass. I think we win this one. I think Mitch and Capewell play. And I think that RTS on the wing will be an absolute revelation.
I agree. Yeah. He's gonna. I reckon like RTS, because every set we start our sets with the wingers and the outside backs hitting it up. He's going to get twice as much ball as he was at centre.
Well, Webster said that. I think someone asked him about it, and he goes, "Well, the wingers get their hands on the ball more than the centres do these days." So
correct. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So he's going to have like 20-something hit ups over 200 meters.
We're kicking for him. He's going to have the end to the season that Zach Lomax has had to start the season.
Huge.
Switching from centre to wing.
And also we give him the goal kicking.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited for it.
By the way, shout out to Zach Lomax's goal kicking in State of Origin. It was great.
Yeah,
it was excellent.
All right, we're going to take one more quick break. Just before we do, I want to let you know about the Mad Traveller prize pack. 4 and 20, giving you the chance to see the Warriors versus the Bulldogs August 23rd, thanks to the Mad Traveller. This includes flights, accommodation, $500 cash to spend at the ground. All you want to do is text PIE to 3236 and be in to win. That's all thanks to the 4 and 20 Traveller PIE. So text PIE to 3236 and you could be our Mad Traveller. We'll be right back. Bit of SuperCoach, Chris, for your Thursday afternoon.
For your ass.
There's only got a couple of hours before I inevitably forget that I've undone my changes and then leave my team screwed for the week, which I've done a couple of weeks. The wheel sort of fell off for me a couple of weeks ago by bringing Hines in a week early. I used my last boost to doctor my books to bring him in. So, of course, he immediately broke his leg. The buys, the holds, the sells this week. Is it too early to buy Nathan Cleary?
I think it depends on your trades and how many warm bodies you've got this week.
That's a big thing.
Decent warm bodies.
Yeah.
Just finding out today that Homole Olakwatu's out, that's changed my plans completely. I now have, I've got like, I have Luke Brooks still. I didn't want to play him, but now I'm going to have to.
Wow.
Luke Brooks. And so if I don't bring in Nathan Cleary this week for me, then I'm going to have a pretty shocking team.
This week, you mean?
This week.
Yeah, right. Because the big thing about Nathan Cleary, obviously, he's just come back from his second injury spell this year with a hamstring injury. I'm sure they've been very cautious about it.
They have. They've given him an extra, I think, 3 weeks, they were saying.
Yeah, and there's every chance that he could get an early shower this weekend. You know, they may only play him 50, 60 minutes. If the Panthers are up big.
Oh, it's the Dolphins too. I think it's the Dolphins. Oh, the internet here is so shit.
The internet is shit. I can tell you that it is the Dolphins on Sunday.
So, they could get up, although defensively at the moment, the Dolphins, I can see the Panthers really doing a number on them. It depends also how many Origin players are named for Panthers.
Well, and also for Dolphins.
Felice Kafusi's name for the Dolphins, it's all on.
The Hammer as well.
Yeah, true.
Not that Trey Fuller hasn't got the job done for them so far, but yeah, I just think the other part of it for Cleary is his break-even is at 181.
He's not going to get that.
So even if he scores 100, I think I heard someone who knows more about SuperCoach than me say that he's still going to lose $100,000.
Yeah, that's right.
So you're better off if you can afford it to wait till next week.
It depends though, because he might not get 180, right? But he might score 100.
That's right.
And then that's 100 points, or let's say your current halfback scores 50. That's 50 points you've missed out on with, 7 weeks to go in the SuperCoach, or 6 if you're doing a head-to-head league?
So there's one clear-cut situation, I think, that you bring Cleary in. And it's if you're low on trades, you don't have any boosts, which I think is most people around this time
I'm low on trades, but I had a boost.
Do you have Nico Hines?
Yes, I had him.
You had him?
I had him this week, and I have already made my trades.
Oh, right.
I've gone straight from him to Nathan Cleary because I don't have the trades or the time to mess around.
Same here.
And wait for people to drop cash.
Yeah, and so what I was going to do was, I was thinking about, do I try to do like a Jaden Campbell thing and then swap Dylan Brown to him next week, blah, blah, blah. I don't have the trades for that shit. I need to be bringing in dudes who are staying in my team for the rest of the season.
It's rocks and diamonds time. It's nuff out, middle of the road guys, drop them down to bottom dollar or not even playing fellas, bring in your Nathan Clearys. I was at your place last night when I actually used my last boost.
Oh, that was sneaky.
Was
that when I was giving you all those tips about SuperCoach?
Yeah, well, you did actually mention Reed Marnie, and then I looked at him and was like, actually, he's super cheap.
Super cheap order.
And I had, the last 2 weeks, I've had Jeremy Marshall-King injured, done for the season, and Hines injured, done for the season.
So that's almost, it's like 1.5 mil sitting on your bench.
Exactly. So I had to get a hooker, and I had to get a halfback. So I've gone Nathan Cleary, he's locked in for the rest of the season, and Reed Marnie is my hooker.
Yeah.
Because Harry Grant, who's about the same price, he's got the sternum injury. He didn't look that great in Origin. I'm just like, nah. So Reed Marnie, I brought in Nathan Cleary, and I had enough money left over to finally upgrade my stupid Newcastle fullback, Fletcher Sharp. F Sharp minor. And I didn't have enough money to go to Turbo.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have enough money or time to wait for Ponga till probably
next week.
But next week he plays the Panthers and then there's a bye or something. The Knights have got a kind of a shit.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Next few games. So I was like, I could wait for Ponga in a few games and just sort of like sit it out. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, with the money I had available, Ryan Pappenhausen was the guy I could afford to bring in. He's kind of a pod at this stage as well, point of difference. I don't think too many people have got him. So I've just locked him in for the rest of the season. He's the fullback for one of the best teams in the NRL.
I'll do you one better. He's the fullback for the best team in the NRL.
Roosters.
Storm. Pappy.
Oh, that's top of the table.
That's top of the table, yeah.
Yeah, true.
So I like it. I think Pappy's a great pod play. At worst, he's about 90% of what you were going to get from Kalen Ponga.
Yeah, and I don't have to trade and muck around and wait. It's the time to just get the guns in now. And
So I'm similar. I still had Trell and I had Nico Hines.
It's a lot of cash.
It's a lot of cash. So I've been Nico Hines to Nathan Cleary. I don't care that he's going to lose 100K this weekend because I'm not trading him out.
You have traded in Nathan Cleary. I don't care what number's next to him. You've got the best player in the NRL on the best team.
Yeah, it's not like I'm going to trade him for Joey Johns in a couple of weeks.
No, well, exactly, yeah.
And then at fullback, it's basically fullback roulette. Who do you want to go with? I looked at Trebojevic, I looked at Ponga, I looked at Trebojevic. Stared them both in the eye and I said, I can't trust your hammies, Tom. I'm sorry. I'm going Ponga.
So you've brought in Ponga?
I've brought in Ponga.
He's playing the Broncos, who I just saw Pat Garrigan in a moon boot, by the way, after Origin 3.
Oh, shit.
So that's real trouble for them. So then he's got the bye, then the Panthers. Sorry, I got that wrong. But KP last season was the best player in SuperCoach when he was healthy. Like Nico overall was, but KP was a freak. I would have gone Ponga if I could somehow have swung it. Yeah. But I couldn't, so it's just forced my hand to go Pappenhausen, but I think Ponga's the best option.
So then the other question that I have for you is, since Haumole Olakau'atu's out for 2 weeks, is that enough for you to drop him?
Nah.
Do you have Crichton?
No.
You wouldn't consider...
Nah. Do you know who I've got? I've got...
Fafita, Katoa, and Olakau'atu.
Fafita, Katoa, Olakau'atu, and Koloamatangi.
Yeah.
Who's my guy from the Rabbitohs. And... front row / 2RF god named Mitch Barnett sitting up at front row.
Yeah, right.
So to be honest, the only guy I would bring in, because I've got 2 Nuffs and 2RF and I need to make one of them a player, the only guy I would bring in, and I can't believe I'm saying his name, Tavita Pangai Jr.
I was just going to say that. And allow me, if you would, just a couple of moments to blow my own horn. But I brought him in about a month ago when he was first named.
That is such a Manaia play.
Yeah.
That is such a Manaia play.
He is the exact kind of player I want on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
He skipped out on his team last year to go and fight tradies in the boxing ring.
Yeah.
Got dusted up and then came back to the NRL. I was like, I'll have him, thanks.
But, mate, Wayne Bennett, he gets the best out of him.
He does get the best out of them.
And he looked great at the weekend. 90. He scored a try, but he was offloading. He was busting tackles. He looks like someone's turned the size fader up while creating a character.
Yeah.
He's way bigger than all the other characters.
He looks like a guy who used to play in the NRL by the name of Tavita Pangai Jr.
Yeah, true.
And he is absolutely tremendous. Yeah, I'm the same. My halves, I think halves, but it's just been so squirrely because for the last 4 or 5 years, it's just been go Nico Hines and Nathan Cleary and never think about it again. You go Munster in the halves.
Have you got
5'8"?
Brown and Galvin? Oh, you've got Tamaiti.
I got Tamati Martin.
See,
yeah.
that was a...
Allow me to take another 5 minutes here just to blow my own horn, but I brought Tamati Martin in months ago.
When he was like 300 or
when
something.
He was about 300. When everyone was getting Galvin.
Yeah, and I've got Galvin
When
now.
they take the low road, we go high. And I went, Tamati Martin, I see him riding around town with the girl I love, and I'm like, fuck you, get in my SuperCoach team.
I'm sorry, but if back then someone had said, do you reckon Tamati Martin will average like 90 every time he plays halfback for the Warriors?
There's only one person on God's green earth who would have said yes. And you're sitting across from him.
Oh, I thought he would have said yes, maybe.
Tamati Martin.
On the back of his horse. He wouldn't have even thought that.
Nah, probably not, bro.
So that is a huge play, and I wish I'd done that as well, because I've just got Dylan Brown, who's just churning out 50s and 60s.
Yeah, I got him too.
But he's boring.
The Tamati Martin thing, I got to be honest, I tried to trade him out like 3 weeks in a row.
like, surely he can't keep this up.
Yeah. I was like, this is going to be the top. This is going to be the top. This is going to be the top. I'm like a crypto trader in the halves.
That is so funny.
But yeah, so I think at this point in the season, I've made my trades for this week. I now have 8 remaining, no boosts. Where are you at?
I used my last boost. Reed Marnie, Nathan Cleary, and Pappenhausen. I have got 6 remaining.
Yeah, so I think at this point of the season, basically, you kind of have to make your picks for the rest of the season. You are shaping your team into what it's going to look like for the rest of the season now.
I think
you don't have any, unless you've got like 16 trades left, you don't have time to be chopping and changing dudes to try and make cash anymore.
That's right. Those days are over. I also, with 6 trades, if you're like me with 6 trades, can I actually justify bringing in Tavita Pangai Jr. with one of my last 6 trades?
No, because what's going to happen is if you get into the finals of your head-to-head, which I still can't wrap my head around how this works, someone's going to get injured, you're going to be fucked, and Tavita Pangai Jr. is going to be sitting on your bench, and you're going to be like, why did I use that trade?
That's right.
So I wouldn't, no, the time to get on TPJ was about a month ago.
Which is just so stupid. Yeah, so I think with the 6 and with the, 7 weeks of the NRL left, I am not making any trades unless I'm forced to.
Yep.
From here on out, this is my team.
You don't really have a choice.
This is who I am.
The one other thing that I had jotted down here is Moses came out this morning. Mitch Moses did his bicep last night.
Oh, yes.
So he will be done. So I don't know how many people got on Mitch Moses. I'm sure a few did when he came back.
He looked insane when he came back.
He did. He looked excellent. So he's a clear drop.
Yeah.
That might be how you get to Cleary. What impact that has on Dylan Brown, I don't know, but they've got a bye this week. So,
and they're done for the season, so who gives a shit? Also, huge one, Dylan Edwards, PCL injury after Origin. So he could have also been a pod fullback to have for the run home. Best fullback. He's been the best fullback and one of the best players so far this season.
The best player this season, yeah.
So he could be out for 2 to 4 weeks if it's a moderate sprain. That's according to the NRL physio.
All right. I think my key takeaway from this week is you've just got to get your team sussed for the rest of the...
And then keep 5 or 6 trades up your sleeve just for injuries. Don't touch them. Don't jump on someone with a low break even. There's no point at this point in the season. Just, you know, you just got to cover your own ass. Yep.
And, Nuffy's, just quickly, I don't want to go too long in this podcast, but to explain how Nuffy works, because I know that there's a lot of first season players on here. How it works is, when people say Nuffy, a Nuffy is a player that doesn't play. And
bottom dollar.
And basically what you're doing is you are trading, say you've got a dude who's worth like 400 or 300K, and he's going to get you like 20 points. Trade him out to a player that doesn't play, save that 100K to upgrade one of your other dudes into a good player.
That's right. And just so you're aware, I've got 3 Nuffs on my team right now.
I have 1, 2. I got 2.
Yeah. So 2-3 nuffs, that's about right. And later in the season, if someone gets injured, you need to free up some cash to upgrade. Just nuff someone else
out.
But you don't want too many because you'll get screwed over at the end.
And the one trick that I have for you for nuffs is look for dual position. There's not a whole lot of them. You've probably got them in your team. Viliami Fafita is one of the most owned players in SuperCoach. Hasn't touched the fucking park this year.
I've got him in my team.
Everyone does. It's because he's second row, front row eligible, so you can use him to swap your players around. And the other one is Jed Cartwright, who everyone else has got from the Knights because he's second row centre.
Yes, Miles Martin, another one from the Knights, front row, second row as well. It's quite a popular one. But yeah, so I'll probably end up having Jed Cartwright at some stage. So just quickly, captains, are you just going to lock in Teddy?
Yeah.
So the Roosters are great matchup, by the way. Saturday night, the Roosters are playing the Melbourne Storm. Where is the... Oh, there it is there. 9:30, Amy Park. So that's Saturday night, and then the Panthers are playing Sunday, 4 in the afternoon. So I'm going to vice-captain Teddy and then captain Nathan Cleary, fully intending, because it's a small buy round and there are a few teams out, I've got pretty much a free shot at the loop anyway.
Yeah, which you probably won't use.
Which I probably won't use and we'll forget about. But yeah, so Teddy and Cleary, even though it's his first game back.
I'm steering clear of the loop. Set and forget with Teddy. Go well this weekend. Make sure, if you're listening to this podcast on the Thursday, make sure you set your team, because the amount of times people set their team, then reverse their trades, and blah, blah, blah. You could fuck yourself. Just before we go, we need to put together the Mad Monday hunch. Now, as someone who hit a couple of bets last night, I've handed the reins over to you for the hunch this weekend. Chris, what have you come up with?
One thing and I was even saying to you last night, I've never hit a 3-game multi before. Three-leg multi before. I always hit the 2 legs and end up with the bonus cash.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you're betting on the NRL, if you do a three leg same game multi, you can get it back, get your money back if 2 of them come in. I have put some serious research into this. Firstly, anytime try scorer Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on the left wing. Tamati Martin has opened up that left side. They send more down that way now. It's not right side dominant anymore. Roger out there getting his hands on the ball. I can see him scoring a try. I think the Warriors, so that's the first leg. Second leg, New Zealand Warriors to win the first half.
Oh, okay.
The Raiders struggle to generate points in the first half.
Okay.
And I think they've scored 1 try in their last 4 games in the first half.
Oh, huge insight.
So it's just like, okay, they suck at, although Fogarty's back, but still.
Yeah.
And the Warriors quite often come out firing. Adam Fanua-Blake scores under the post and then folds his arms, and then we shit the bed.
Then we sub him off and just go real quiet for 10 minutes.
That's right. So I reckon the Warriors will get out to an early lead.
Yep.
Okay, so Roger to score, New Zealand Warriors to win the first half, and I think it'll be under 47.5 points.
Yep. So
I usually hate going unders.
Yeah, you're betting against excitement.
But I can just see this one being a real close, low-scoring, slugfest.
Well, there's just so much on the line for both teams.
That's right. That's paying $7. So you put $100 on that, you'll get $600 back with the old bonus bet there.
Yeah, beautiful. I like it. Follow that one along responsibly. It'll be up on our social medias later on. Thank you very much for joining us for another episode of the Mad Monday podcast. Do join us on Friday, tomorrow night.
Shit.
10 p.m. The 2 of us commentating the Warriors versus the Raiders. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye. Sky Sport 9, by the way.